According to the National Electrical Code, the ability to run different voltage circuits, such as 120 volts and 277 volts, within the same conduit is permissible under certain conditions. The key requirement is adherence to the insulation voltage ratings of the conductors used. Section 300.3 C1 addresses conductors of different systems. It states that conductors of alternating current and direct current circuits operating at different voltage levels can occupy the same enclosure, cable, or raceway if all conductors are insulated for the maximum voltage of any conductor within the enclosure, cable, or raceway. This means that if you are running both 120 volts and 277 volts circuits in the same conduit, all the conductors must be insulated to handle at least 277 volts, which is the high voltage. In practical terms, this often means using conductors with a 600 volts insulation rating, which is a common standard. Using conductors with a 600 volts insulation rating ensures that they are suitable for both the 120 volts and 277 volts circuits. It is crucial to verify the voltage rating printed on the conductor's insulation. This rating indicates the maximum voltage that the conductor can safely handle. If the conductors are rated for 600 volts, they are appropriate for this application. However, if they are rated for a low voltage, such as 300 volts, they must be replaced with conductors that meet the 600 volts requirement. Another critical aspect to consider is the ampacity of the conductors. Ampacity refers to the current carrying capacity of a conductor. When multiple conductors are installed in the same conduit, the ampacity of each conductor must be derated to account for the increased heat generated by the group of conductors. This derating is necessary to prevent the conductors from overheating, which can damage the insulation and potentially cause a fire. The NEC provides tables in Article 310 that specify the ampacity derating factors based on the number of current carrying conductors in a raceway or cable. To determine the appropriate derating factor, you must first identify the number of current carrying conductors in the conduit. Neutral conductors are generally considered current carrying conductors unless they only carry the unbalanced current from other phases in a three-phase system. Grounding conductors, with equipment grounding conductors or grounding electrode conductors, are typically not considered current carrying conductors for derating purposes. Once the number of current carrying conductors is determined, you can consult the appropriate NEC table, such as Table 310.15. A. To find the corresponding derating factor. This factor is expressed as a percentage and is applied to the conductor's base ampacity rating. For example, if a conductor has a base ampacity of 30 amps and the derating factor is 80%, the adjusted ampacity would be 30 amps multiplied by 0.80, which equals 24 amps. This means that the conductor can only safely carry 24 amps in this particular installation. It is essential to select conductors with an initial ampacity rating that is high enough to accommodate the derating factor and still meet the load requirements of the circuit. The size of the conduit must also be adequate to accommodate all the conductors and their insulation. NEC Chapter 9 provides guidelines for conduit fill, specifying the maximum percentage of the conduit's cross-sectional area that can be occupied by conductors. Using too small of a conduit can make it difficult to pull the conductors, damage the insulation, and impede heat dissipation, potentially leading to overheating. To determine the appropriate conduit size, you must first calculate the total cross-sectional area of all the conductors, including their insulation. This information can be found in NEC Chapter 9, Table 5 and Table 5a. Then, you can consult NEC Chapter 9, Table 4 to determine the minimum conduit size that can accommodate the calculated fill area. It is generally recommended to use a slightly larger conduit size than the minimum required to provide some extra space for pulling the conductors and to improve heat dissipation. Furthermore, it is crucial to properly identify and label all conductors and circuits. This helps to prevent confusion and ensures that maintenance and troubleshooting can be performed safely and efficiently. The NEC requires that all conductors be clearly identified as to their purpose and voltage. This can be achieved by using color-coded conductors, marking tape, or other approved methods. For example, The grounded conductor, also known as the neutral, must be identified by a white or grey color. The equipment grounding conductor must be identified by a green or bare color. Ungrounded conductors, also known as hot wires or phase conductors, can be any color other than white, grey, or green. In addition to color coding, it is also important to label the circuits at the junction boxes and panel boards. This can be done by using circuit directories or other approved labeling methods. The label should clearly indicate the voltage of the circuit, the loads it serves, and any other relevant information. Proper labeling helps to prevent accidental contact with energized conductors and ensures that the correct circuit is de-energized during maintenance or repairs. When installing the conductors in the conduit, it is essential to use proper wiring techniques to avoid damaging the insulation. This includes using a suitable wire pulling lubricant to reduce friction and prevent the conductors from binding or snagging. The lubricant should be compatible with the conductor insulation and the conduit material. It is also important to avoid overbending the conductors, as this can damage the insulation and reduce their current carrying capacity. The NEC specifies minimum bending radii for conductors, depending on their size and type. These bending radii should be strictly adhered to. Additionally, it is crucial to ensure that all connections are made properly and are secure. Loose or corroded connections can create heat and resistance, leading to voltage drops, equipment malfunction, and potentially fires. All connections should be made using approved connectors and terminals that are properly sized for the conductors being used. The connections should be tightened to the manufacturer's specified torque to ensure a reliable electrical connection. Finally, it is always recommended to consult with a qualified electrician or electrical engineer to ensure that the installation complies with all applicable codes and standards. Electrical work can be dangerous, and it is important to have the knowledge and experience to perform it safely and correctly. A qualified professional can review the installation plans, inspect the work, and provide guidance on any issues or concerns. They can also ensure that the installation meets all local requirements and that it is safe for the occupants of the building. In summary, running different voltage circuits in the same conduit is permitted by the NEC as long as all conductors are insulated for the highest voltage present and capacity rating is properly calculated. Conduit fill is within the limits, conductors and circuits are properly identified and labeled, and proper wiring techniques are followed. Consulting with a qualified electrician is always recommended to ensure code compliance and safety. Remember to always prioritize safety when working with electricity. To energize circuits before working on them, use appropriate personal protective equipment, and follow all applicable codes and standards. Electrical work can be hazardous, and it is important to take all necessary precautions to prevent accidents and injuries. Firstly, ensure all conductors have insulation rated for the highest voltage in the conduit. Secondly, calculate capacity rating based on the number of conductors. Thirdly, verify the conduit fill is within the NEC limits. Fourthly, properly identify and label all circuits. Fifthly, use proper wiring techniques during installation. Sixthly, consult a qualified electrician to ensure compliance and safety. If the product has only one exit for wires, consider using a junction box immediately outside the product to separate the 120 volts and 277 volts circuits into different conduits if this simplifies compliance with the NEC or if the product is not listed for use with multiple voltage systems in the same raceway. Ensure the junction box is appropriately sized and rated for the environment. This separation can make it easier to manage the different voltage systems and ensure that each circuit is properly protected and grounded. Always prioritize safety and compliance with electrical codes to prevent hazards. Remember that this information is for educational purposes only and should not be considered a substitute for professional electrical advice. Always consult with a qualified electrician or electrical engineer before performing any electrical work. By following these guidelines and working with qualified professionals, you can ensure that your electrical installations are safe, code compliant, and reliable.